Let's get on to another issue that's been bubbling away since the weekend. Millions of students will have their HECS debt.
Norway is often hailed as a model of economic and social success, a reputation built on the foundations of a robust tax system that efficiently leverages the country's natural resources. At the heart of Norway's prosperity
pay for them. In countries like Norway, they tax their oil industry.
Lies its strategic approach to taxing the oil and gas sectors, which not only contributes significantly to the national wealth, but also supports extensive public services, including free education and comprehensive healthcare.
Me as a citizen of Norway, we have like free health care, meaning that if I got, for instance, I thought I had corona.
Strategic resource management. Norway's petroleum sector is subject to one of the world's highest tax rates, effectively up to 78%, comprising a 27% corporate tax and additional 51% special tax on petroleum profits. This aggressive taxation policy has fueled the growth of the government pension fund Global, the largest sovereign wealth fund in the world, with assets worth over $1.3 trillion as of early 2021.
What are you expecting from COP27? And it's great that you showed up. Norway relies so much actually on oil and gas. How difficult is the transition?
Well, I mean, the first objective is to keep the pressure for 1.5.
The fund is a critical tool for transforming non-renewable oil and gas revenues into sustainable financial wealth, which safeguards the country's economic stability against oil price fluctuations. Impact on public services. The revenue from these taxes enables Norway to invest in key social services that directly benefit its citizens. For instance, Norway spends approximately 7.6% of its GDP on education, providing free tertiary education to all, regardless of socio-economic background. This commitment to education is reflected in high literacy rates and educational attainment, with over 82% of adults aged 25 to 64 having completed upper secondary education compared to the OECD average of 78%. Social and economic equality. The wealth generated from these taxes helps Norway maintain one of the lowest income inequality rates globally, with a Gini coefficient of just 0.25. The country's focus on equitable wealth distribution is evident in its comprehensive welfare schemes, including generous parental leave policies and unemployment benefits, which contribute to higher quality of life and a human development index consistently ranked among the top of the world. Environmental leadership. Also, Norway reinvests a portion of its oil revenue into environmental conservation and green technology, demonstrating a forward-thinking approach to sustainable development. This balance between exploitation and conservation helps Norway lead in global sustainability rankings, fostering a healthier planet for future generations. This tax strategy not only enhances Norway's fiscal capacity to invest in its people and infrastructure, but also sets a global benchmark for resource-rich countries aiming to achieve sustainable growth and social well-being. By understanding Norway's approach, other nations, especially those like Australia with similar resource-based economies, can explore reforms that may replicate some of Norway's success in their context. Australian tax and education funding. In contrast, Australia's petroleum resource rent tax raised only $1.2 billion in 2019-2020, a stark difference from the HECS help debt contributions, which amounted to significantly more. For example, in 2020, the HECS help debt totaled approximately $66 billion, highlighting a reliance on student debt to fund education. Economic impact on students. This reliance on student loans has resulted in nearly 3 million Australians grappling with substantial educational debts. With average debts around $22,000 and many students facing indexation rates that can dramatically increase the amount owed over time. The need for major tax reforms. Emulating Norway's approach by increasing taxes on Australia's profitable oil and gas sector could generate additional revenue to fund public universities and reduce or eliminate tuition fees, thus alleviating the student debt crisis. If Australia applied a similar tax rate to its oil and gas revenues as Norway, even a conservative estimate suggests an increase in annual tax income by billions. Assuming similar profitability and production levels, this could potentially fund the higher education of around 700,000 students annually, assuming an average annual tuition cost of $30,000 per student. Current government initiatives. The Albanese government's recent initiative to cut $3 billion in student debt provides immediate relief but doesn't address the underlying issues. The plan to cap help debt indexation to the lower of CPI or WPI is a step forward, reducing the 2023 indexing rate from a potential 7.1% to just 3.2%, saving the average debt for students about $1,200. So yes, this will help students with their debt, but what would really help is a tax system that allows students to learn and get a higher education at a lower cost, or even better, at no cost at all, making big changes for a better future. Norway has shown the world how smart tax rules can help everyone in the country. They use money from the oil and gas to make sure all Norwegians can go to school for free and enjoy a good life. This helps everyone feel secure and happy, but most importantly, it drives productivity within the economy. Australia has a chance to do something similar by making better rules about how to use money from its own natural resources. Australia could help reduce the cost of higher education for millions of students and make life easier for everyone. By looking at Norway's example, Australia can find ways to make sure its wealth is used to help all its people. It's important for us to talk about these changes and work together to make them happen. By doing so, we can make sure that wealth from Australia's natural resources is a blessing for everyone, not just a few. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.